So today, lads, I'm going to be talking about the winners and losers of the WNBA Draft. And this is going to be an interesting one because I do feel overall like this was that obviously there are winners and losers, but I feel like this was a bit of a weird draft because if you ask me what the ideal team for everybody is, I don't know if anyone got drafted to their ideal team. Like, I don't know if anyone did. In this entire draft, I don't see anyone getting drafted to their main team. It's we've now got here AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Awa Fama 3, Lauren Betts, Gabriella Haquez. Like this, none of these picks, like this order, I'm shocked about. I'm not shocked about this order, but like this order feels like a little bit of a surprise. Even with Flau'jae, the way she was talking, she was like shocked to go to Golden State apparently because Golden State I don't think showed any interest in drafting her, so she was shocked to go to Golden State. Turns out that, well, yeah, the Storm were heavily going for her, and she probably thought she was going to 3. I thought she was going to 3. We got her anyway. So, I'm going to talk about the winners of the draft. I'll talk about every single team, and I'm going to say whether or not they were a winner or a loser. So the Dallas Wings, I'm going to say Dallas Wings was a net neutral. I don't think AZ Fudd's bad, but like, I'm not going to call them a loser of the draft. Drafting a player that might be a 7-point per game scorer, 10-point per game scorer on good shooting for a career. Z Spearman is a bit of a weird pick. A very weird pick for Dallas. So I'm going to say a neutral, bordering on loser of the draft, but I'll give them a neutral. For the Minnesota Lynx, I'm going to give the Minnesota Lynx big-time winners in the draft. I think Olivia Miles is going to be fantastic for them. I think when she gets a little bit more discipline with Cheryl Reeves, she's going to be exceptional. Like, she could be the best player in this draft class, to be honest. And the big thing is the Minnesota Lynx is that in the last pick of the draft, they somehow got Lanny White. This is a player who, especially as a senior, came in and did unbelievably well for Utah. She's a player that's basically like the equivalent of an Aaliyah Nye, who was taken last year and did really well, and they got her with the last pick in the draft. She's probably going to make the roster. And the fact that they used the last pick of the draft on someone that might make the roster, that is crazy. The winners of the draft, like there is no other winner. The winners of the draft are the Seattle Storm. Like, you are in a tanking situation. How do you got Awafam, Flau'jae Johnson. I don't understand the Taina Mare pick. Like, I don't like this pick, but fuck it. Like, she did have 39% from the field. It's not good in college. I didn't even have her as my first Duke guard off the board. And I had her mocked in the third round. Like, this is a massive reach. Like, I'll give this a D, but I don't care. When you get Flau'jae Johnson, Awafam, and Grace Van Sluten in a draft. In the Grace Van Sluten in the third round, starter on Team USA in AmeriCup last year, like, that is a winner. That is the winner of the draft. Like, there are 2 A picks I gave in this draft. A grades, and both of them happened to go to Seattle. The Washington Mystics, I don't know how I feel about the Washington Mystics in this draft. I really don't. Because even though Lauren Betts, who is apparently a center from Spain, according to WNBA.com, even though Lauren Betts born in Spain? Am I missing something here? She may well have been born in Spain. She was born in Spain. Wow. I did not know that. That is an interesting one here. I had no idea she was born in Spain. But Lauren Betts at 4, she's not going to start for probably 3 years of her career, which is really weird. I still think they might just try to trade Shakira Austin at some stage. But the rest of their picks. Dugalich is a massive reach. Like, I don't think people understand how big a reach Dugalich is at 9. Like, she was projected in some mock drafts to go in the 3rd round. And she was the 3rd UCLA player off the board. And she wasn't even the best fit of UCLA players. They want to go with UCLA players. That was a wild one. And then Cody McMahon can't shoot at all. Like, she can't shoot. As great as a driver she is, she can't shoot. Cassandra Prosper, like, she is a great defender, cannot shoot. They took little Paige Bueckers, a good rebounder, undersized, 6'1" big, can't shoot. Every single player, Rory Harmon, could make the roster. Really nice point guard, really good defender, good floor general, can't shoot. How is it that you had like 6 picks in this draft and the best shooter you took shoots 32% from 3 in college and is Dugalich, who's not a shooter? Like, I don't even hate any of these individual players. It reminds me of the Brooklyn Nets in the NBA draft where it's like, I like every player you drafted, but the 4 of them together is just dumb. Gabriela Jaquez. Why'd you not trade down? Why'd you not trade down? You got the hardest worker in the draft. And the one thing I will say is I can say these 2 things. I can guarantee you that someone below Gabriela Jaquez will be better than Gabriela Jaquez. But I can also guarantee you she won't be a bust. Maybe they took the highest floor and just said, you know what, we're going to go and take the person that we think is going to make us the best team this year, which is clearly what they did. But like, Kiki Rice was a better pick. Iana Martine was a better pick. Flaujae was a much better pick. Heck, even, to be fair, I would say she's an equivalent pick to taking Raven Johnson. About 5 is a massive reach. And in terms of everything else with the Sky went absolute upsize with Lanamore. Like, they went on about a hypothetical player here. They went on pure hypothetical there. And then did they have any other picks? Did they have a 3rd round pick? Tony Morgan's a good pick. Like a 2nd round pick or a 3rd round pick that might make the roster and is definitely going to make the development slot. I don't mind Tony Morgan as a 3rd round pick. I really don't. The Toronto Tempo, just getting Kiki Rice as an expansion franchise is a win. I wasn't the biggest fan of the rest of their picks. Like Tioni Key, I'm not that high on. Saffron Shields is a Australian stash because their coach is Australian. And Charlie's Dunn is another Australian. Like, they drafted 2 Australians because they have an Australian coach. Like, I don't hate it. I'm going to call them a winner just from getting Kiki Rice. So far, Lynx, Storm, Toronto Tempo winners. The Portland Fire, they're just going for upside. Like, I like Iana Martine. She mightn't come over. Like, if she is coming over, she's coming over late. She signed the Spanish League. She's not coming over to like the middle of June. So, yeah, like her and Carl Late. This team is trying to win. This team is going to set the record for the lowest winning percentage. I like Frida Booner and I like Sarah Williams. I like trading for Sarah Williams. I'm not going to say they're a winner of the draft because a lot of it is hypothetical, but I'm not going to say they're a loser either. The Valkyries are one of the biggest losers of the draft. The Valkyries took stashes and decided that they didn't want the salary involved with the 8th pick. So they organized a trade with the 1st pick in the 2nd round with, we'll take whoever you want at 8 and you'll give us whoever at 16 and we'll basically swap it for nothing. They basically went down 8 spots in the draft and got nothing. Nothing for it. One of the dumbest things I've ever seen one of the dumbest things I've ever seen a team do. So, Flaujae, you are not the reason for this. Seattle won because they have you. Golden State, big loser. The Indiana Fever. Did they fill in any need? Perimeter defense. Justine Pissot is okay. I'm not going to call them a loser. I'm not going to call them a loser in this draft because I think it could have gone worse, but it could have gone a lot better. Nell Angloma was on the board. And speaking of Nell Angloma, the Connecticut Sun might be one of the biggest winners of this draft. How do you get Neepkins at 15? Like, how is it that you trade your picks, which you trade your pick with Chicago? So you traded a pick, or you have a pick swap, you traded your pick, yeah. which was the worst of yours and the Mercury's pick, to Chicago. And you got 12 from Mercury and you gave the Chicago 5. And you ended up with a better player at 12. You may have ended up with the better UCLA player at 15 from a trade with the Lynx for... who even was that trade for? Where did they get this pick from? Was that trade not with the Mystics? Was that not the Carly Samuelson trade? Did they get it in the Aaliyah Edwards trade or something? I actually don't know. I genuinely don't know how the Connecticut Sun somehow ended up with this pick. I don't know how the Connecticut Sun got the Lynx pick. But yeah. Does it say where this trade came from? No. But absolute massive winners. Massive winners just from those two picks. And in terms of the rest of the draft, they also got Charlie's Ledger Walker who's going to make their team. Like, they did well. They did really well. And they traded for Taylor Bigby, for Sarah Williams. I don't think either to make the roster, so I don't think it really matters. And yeah, the last team is the Atlanta Dream. Medina Okot is size, a lot of upside, and Carl Smesko is going to have her chucking threes. The right place for Medina Okot to go. I don't like India Navarre. I just don't like her as a pick. For the Atlanta Dream. And I mean, they have an interesting stash, I guess. It's better than wasting a third round pick on someone that won't stay. So I'm not going to call them winners, not going to call them losers. So the winners of this draft are the Connecticut Sun, the Minnesota Lynx, and the Seattle Storm. I think the Lynx purely because I think the Lynx got an actual player that can play with the last pick of the draft. The Seattle Storm are the huge winners in this draft. Huge winners. But the losers are obviously the Golden State Valkyries. I think you could argue the Mystics are the losers of this draft because you got Lauren Betts, but at what cost? Like, you had all these picks, and the only thing that really you can show for it is you have Lauren Betts. And as much as you can like Lauren Betts, I think none of these pieces fit. They're going to win less games than they did last year. Yeah, it's just a bit weird. So that is my winners and losers. I'll see you guys.